Islam. Now, in that rapid change, you know, there's getting to be gradual disconnect between Muslim and the pristine Islamic principle, which is essentially, if there's anything that we call humanism, I think it's Islam. Take, for example, but I think the problem now is which comes first? Is it the power or the faith? And that's where the extremism comes from. For many years, there weren't any law given to Prophet ﷺ after his prophethood. It was just about teaching them La ilaha illallah, as in to know that there is no other God, faith, for so many years. And if you look at the body of Sharia, because when you say you want an Islamic state, you're clamoring for Sharia, right? Now, if you look at the entire body of Sharia, about 90%, if I'm right, of it is about muamalat, issues that relate with how I live with my neighbor, how I relate with my wife, my family, and in harmony with nature and people around me. So only just about 10% talks about spirituality, about man and God. So now, I think where Muslims on the 21st century lost it is lack of that understanding. Because when we can regulate our relationship with our fellow men,
which is supposed to be cordial, peaceful,
when we can regulate that in the first place, the others will follow.
Okay.
And that is the essence of Islam, because like it's being clamored, Prophet never spread Islam with the sword on the one hand and the Quran on the other hand. No. People, you know, even the battle he fought were of necessity when he had to defend himself. You know, so I think we need to, when the problem started, let's get back to the basics. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَى رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Allah said to the Prophet, we have not sent you, but only as a blessing to humanity.
Good. I'm tempted to bring this question back in a different way now. This issue of the 7 virgins that some
and
people...
the things you have to do to
yes,
get them, which is
it
propelling
true?
extremism, supposedly.
Exactly, because they use this to brainwash people. A guy who hasn't got a girlfriend and feels he has no hope of getting a girlfriend now believes that if he commits suicide as a suicide bomber, and then does something really crazy, then he's going to go to heaven and he's going to have 7 virgins attending to him. 7.
Why do you have to die
how does that make sense? Where in the Quran is that stated?
Thank God for one thing. As I'm seated here, I can boast anywhere in the world. I'm one of those who have committed the entire Quran to memory.
Okay.
So I can read the book offhand from A to Z.
So going to that memory, tell us where in the Quran.
That's why I say it's important I tell you that nothing of such is written in the Quran.
Bingo. Sorry I had to use that word.
Nothing of such. All those that parade themselves, that they say, the prophets say that 7 virgin, you will be for you, that you die for the sake of religion hereafter. One thing we should know about hereafter, which is important, is that it is beyond this normal realm and understanding.
Spiritual.
It's spiritual. So when the word virgin is used, the connotation of that does not signify the virgin that we are talking of, because it's a figurative expression which requires interpretation. So we should not just take it like that. But for us to understand that all those that say that yes, if you die for the sake of religion, then you will have 7 virgins and so. Then fatum all these things. One thing which Islam stands for is peace. Anywhere, anytime. Peace with yourself, peace with your neighbor, peace in your environment, and peace with God. And that is why the name given to the religion is Islam. The root word in Arabic from where Islam is taken is sin lam mim, which means salam. Silm, something that is peaceful. So anybody that parades himself or says that he's doing anything and is devoid of peace does not stand in representation of Islam.
Why don't we have a situation that every Muslim on earth will stand in unison and condemn the IS for what they're doing and say every part of the Middle East and every part of the world will fight them with everything possible?
Because there are those scholars who are recognized by those who are not grounded in Quran itself and its understanding and the ahadith. They just take the religion and said, I am following what they say. So by that, ignorance is already what is the major problem that is making them to do what they are doing. Else, it's not possible for any sane man in Islam. When you read the history of Islam, you will see that for good 10 years, like he rightly said, Rasulullah was persecuted in Mecca. He was persecuted and all his followers, they never did anything to fight back. When they got to Medina, the Jews were there, the Arabs were there. He was chosen as the leader of that community, and they lived in harmony.
At what point do you draw the line between the faith and extremism? At what point?
You see, Quran says, La ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion. That is the line. Whenever you start compelling anybody to do anything, if I want to invite you to religion, if I compel you, if you don't become a Muslim, I will have to cut off your throat, then it's compulsion started. That's not what Islam says.
So what is the place of jihad in the history?
Jihad is misconstrued and misunderstood. Jihad stands for striving in the cause of Allah. If it's used in meaning of fighting, because the word jihad in Arab is an Arabic word. Jahada, Jim Hawdal. He strives, he struggles. So jihad, somebody that struggles, that strives to, all the advancement we see today is a result of a struggle of all this invention. So Islam says that jihad in condition of Islamic ethics is when you are persecuted for your faith and you are not allowed to do all you need to do in your faith, and you are now being punished for that. He said you have to now repel that by protecting yourself and say, no, you have a right. As we are in Nigeria, somebody should say, I should not practice Islam. You cannot compel me. So I'll just tell you, it's enshrined in our constitution that I have right to my own faith. So jihad, it means when you are pushed to the wall, that's the time you fight those who, on account of your religion, fight you. But Quran says you don't just fight like that. You are not the one that raised your hand first. It's until they raise their hand first. That's what is in Quran.
Do you think that's what's happening right now? As anyone in the context of Nigeria, what he has just described as being pushed to the wall, not to practice and all, do we have that situation? Have we had it at any time?
Well, you can't say we've had that kind of situation. And as a journalist, I've had the opportunity of traveling around the country of Nigeria. I also have a opportunity of traveling abroad. And I've not been impeded in any way because of my religion.
Right.
And so there's no basis for that actually. But it's all boils down to understanding the message of Islam. But you as an individual, that's why I did a narration of the 6 articles of faith and then the 5 pillars of Islam. Where did you see any act that has to do with fighting or killing people? Not at all. It's based on a different understanding and a different ideology entirely, which is inundated in Islam, which is not known to Islam. Prophet Muhammad was, quoted to have even invited a lot of the Christians to pray, to use the mosque to pray. We have also read the people of Abyssinia allow Muslims to use the church to also pray. And so, where is the problem? Why do we need to fight over, an issue that obviously we could have just talked about and then everything will have been resolved? Because a lot of people do not understand the essence of religion, which is about humanity, the commonality, the unifying purpose of life, of making life better for all. Because they don't understand that. So they are tempted to be doing what they are doing. And because of so many centrifugal forces that are also coming in here and there, that people that do not understand Islam, you find some of these things